Hello, Achatami. Welcome back. That was a very energizing session of South of Midnight, and we have stopped. Well, the computer stopped us, rather, at the moment where we are going to fight Kushma, the final boss. Constance Bailey is our guest this week. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trailblazing the end of this game with us. And how do you feel after you saw what you saw? What are you thinking?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm deeply conflicted, right? On the one hand, it made me want to attempt gaming again, even though I feel like my mental dexterity and everything, like I'm too old to do it. You know what I'm saying? But there was like material culture, and there was like belief, and there was all this like South Louisiana. But like it was everything. But then also I'm like, this game is cursed because when it just like crashed at the end,
I know. It's like
so I'm thinking, like, that's a sign. I'm from the deep south. I believe in like reading the signs. It's like that game is not meant for me to play.
That's fair. That's fair.
So,
Dom,
yeah.
were you gonna say something? No. Okay. I heard an inhale. I thought you were gonna say something.
Oh, if I wouldn't have said anything, I'm like, man, there was a great material culture level of that game with Hug and Molly from
She was
Alabama.
Yeah, she was made and she's from this legend of Hug and Molly kind of is from one town in Alabama even too.
Yeah.
And she's sort of like she's kind of like La Llorona or something where she sort of takes wayward children or children of runoff or something, but they flip the narrative and she's actually saving children from abuse. It's really cool.
But yeah, her layer of lost children is like a material culture scholar's like
it's
dream.
really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's like she's covered in quilts. She's like looks like a spider. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, she looks like a spider, and there's all these quilts for the kids.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Oh wow! So it's kind of got a little bit of like a nonsense. It's like the quilt kind of story.
Yep.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, did a folklorist like design this game? Not design it, but like consult in this game.
There's I don't. I'm like wonder who, because I mean, if you think about it too, this like sort of metaphor we're working with of the grand tapestry and Hazel being a weaver and she's like repairing the holes in the tapestry of time, which is also kind of like her processing or exploring generational trauma basically in different ways. Like there's just so rich and it's really exciting. So
this game is on sale right now, by the way. If that's a sign for you.
Does that balance out the Kushma crash out?
No, because and here's why. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I used to. It's been like over a decade now since the last episode. But I used to suffer from sleep paralysis, so I am like so afraid. And for it to have crashed right when it did, it was like.
No.
I'm saying do not go any further with the game.
And that's
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I remember Kushmar from like being the Cajun variant of the old hag in Terror That Comes in the Night. So yeah, we're literally fighting your sleep paralysis demon at the end of this game.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Oh my gosh. Well, I would love to ask you some questions about your work. So we're not just talking video games the whole night. But before we do, Dom has something to share.
Briefly.
With you and our audience. Just briefly.
Yeah, Daisy is about to, Daisy and Dr. Constance Bailey are going to sit down and talk about her career, talk about a lot of different things. But Daisy did not come up with these questions themselves. In fact, we have an entire team of Folkwise interview sleuths who researches the guests and puts together these questions. So, chat, Constance, if you hear, you're going to shake your head no, but if you hear something that we ask that makes you do a double take, or how did they know that? Not us. That was the sleuths.
Yes.
Not just us. That was the sleuths.
But maybe not being good. But okay.
We'll see. So yeah, thank you, sleuths. If you're a subscriber and you have a sleuth emote, feel free to use that too.
And chat, if you have a question for Constance, just drop it in chat.
Yep. Okay, Constance, are you ready for your first question?
I am as ready as I am. Yes.
Okay, cool. How does your training as a folklorist shape the creative process involved in creating something like Conversations with Kiese Laymon?
So it's Kiese.
Oh, Kiese,
Um,
sorry. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, no worries, no worries. But yeah, and in fact, he called me Candace like 3 times in an interview the other. He's like, I don't know why I did that because I know your name is Constance. I said, I know you know my name is. So
Kiese Laymon, cool.
it's blah,
Yeah.
blah. Yeah. Oh, after work as a folklorist, that's a super hard. But y'all are out the gate starting with the hard questions. All right,
Thanks,
so
Sleuths.
hey, I mean, I think part of it is just that one of the reasons that I wanted to do the series was because I'm such a huge fan of his work, and you know, maybe not know, like one of the projects that I tabled because as academics we can't do them all. There's a tenure clock that's kind of looming largely over your head. But my initial like the first project I was or first monograph I was working on was about educational rites of passage. So it's really thinking about like
Hmm.
Menali and Communitas, and but thinking specifically like because it was the project is I shouldn't say was like it still exists, but it's just on the side right now. But it's the Black collegian in the popular imaginary, and so it's thinking about that arc of like the decision to go to college and going to college, but I frame all of that using like Turner and Van Gennep, like again, kind of rites of passage. And so, because so much of Kiese's work really explores being like that being on the cusp of right adulthood and childhood, or between adolescence and adulthood. And I mean, I don't think he explicitly thinks about it that way, but I think about it that way in terms of what does it mean to come of age in Mississippi. What does it mean to be a black man in Mississippi? Me having raised my son was born in Mississippi, uh, really right after slash during Katrina, and just so what does it mean to kind of like what does that community look like? And so I just think about like tradition and heritage and all of that really is very very profound and um, yeah, I mean it's a huge part of Kiese's work, and so I think that is where my that's what kind of attracted me to it. And so that's why I continue to kind of think about it. And when I go back to that project, think I might try to put, some of his work in there because it is exploring that phase that I'm really, really kind of concerned with, right? Yeah. I don't know if that answers the question, but
Yeah. Yeah, I think it definitely does. And
Wonderfully.
yeah, yeah, wonderfully. And how is this sort of book project or this compilation of interviews that you edited about Kiese's life proof that it's necessary for academics to finally go through the to be read pile?
oh, lordy, the to be read pile. I'll tell you, wow. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I think many academics are probably bibliophiles, right? And that we just, I'm the worst about like, you all will see actually probably at AFS, like the book vendors, and especially because I'm local and I don't have to fly.
Oh
Because one
yeah.
time I made the mistake of buying all these books and my stuff weighed too much that I had to pay like extra $100. I was like, like, but I could just like drive across town, so I could have a whole, like trunk full of books, and that who the hell knows when I will have read them, and some of them I will have already read. Like they're my friends' books, and I never, for whatever reason, got around to buying them. But then it's like, oh, it's on display, and it's on sale. Like, but anyway, there are many things that we just, like aspirationally acquire. Like, hey, this looks like a cool book, or somebody said I should read this book, and we don't know where the hell we're gonna read that book. And
Yeah.
then, I think it felt like kismet, right? When I finally read that long division, and that worked out so well with such a great what do you call it, like pairing when people like peanut butter and jelly or something. I feel like it was a great academic partnership, right?
Yeah.
Because when I finally read the book and I reached out to Kiese, even though his speaker fees weren't not a fraction of what they are now, like I still couldn't afford it, and I didn't know how honorariums and I didn't know anything about it. Like I was a contingent faculty basically, and I was trying to cobble together this. He's like, well, if you just want me to talk to your students, I could just like Skype in. That's how long ago it was, right? So people probably don't like what is Skype or some of
Oh
this.
yeah.
I was like, so he Skyped in, and then he kept doing that, and so it was just really a fortuitous relationship. But had I never cracked that book open, and so I got a ton of stuff in the to be read file right now, of course, but some that I'm going to try to get to sooner rather than later, because you never know like what is on the horizon and like what kind of partnerships can come from that. So
yeah, and you're total proof that going through that pile is worth it. Like there's some beautiful relationships that could come out of it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You were also recently talking about your relationship with just like about the process of putting together this collection in Kiese on a podcast. And I want to drop that in the chat, which would be great. Dom, you got that?
On it.
Cool. Yeah, so if anybody wants to listen a little bit more to Constance talking about this, there's a great podcast episode you can listen to. Also, we just want to make sure we promote that for you.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. No, listen, it was super entertaining too.
Yeah.
I mean, especially, it was really kind of floundering at the beginning of that. I think, it was like late logging on or something, and it was some kind of question about like, what does it mean to reek of Mississippi? And I was like, I mean, at the time, I don't know why too, because I think I had the questions in advance too, but I just hadn't. That was just something that hadn't occurred to me, and so it didn't occur to me to say like, yeah, it's a racist place, but I loved it, but it was home, and so I loved it. I was just like, I was just like weird stuff, like, oh, I don't know, like it was just crazy. I was just like rambling, but it gets really good after like the first. One or two weird questions, so definitely check it out.
That happens sometimes. So there's always something meaty in an episode, like in the middle. I feel like sometimes, but
yeah.
Anyway, are you ready for your next question? Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
It depends on what the question is.
Assume she is.
Okay. Well, the question is, how do Black women in fiction create a communal ethos in contrast to Western epistemologies and logic?
What? Who asked that question?
This is based on things you've written about. Yeah.
Sure. Of course it is.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, that seems suspect. Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I don't know. I mean, I felt strongly about that at some point with the dissertation, and I was trying to talk about or kind of argue that. I mean, I was trying to argue. I think I was calling it the spiritual apprenticeship narrative at that point, right? And that these mentoring relationships. I don't think it's certainly not anything new. A lot of Black women scholars, Black feminist critics, have talked about some of these types of relationships. So I'm thinking about like Patricia Hill Collins, even like Other Mothering, and just thinking about like extensive mentoring relationships among women who aren't necessarily biologically related. So I do think just this idea of nurturing as a framework, not necessarily literally that folks are trying to biologically be raising kids. I happen to have some baby kids, but this idea of actually I tell you what, it was a really great moment in Congress the other day, and Jasmine Crockett said something that made me think about that same ethos. She's like, most of us were taught that like we reach back as we climb, or something like this idea that we help other people who come behind us, right? And that this idea that this particular, and I don't even remember who the other rep was, but this idea that you wouldn't want to exhibit the same grace that you yourself was shown is, I think, something very that feels very true for the way in which like Black women tend to be like acculturated, right? In terms of like, we have this obligation, and I think one of the things that often happens, like with a literary genre, like the Build on Roman, for example, like the coming of age novel, right? You often have these narratives, which is kind of literally, it's sort of ironic because it's like literally the apprenticeship, novel, but in some ways they give these masculine heroic narratives where the hero or the young man goes off on his own, and he's sort of like comes back fully for. I mean, there are lots of like Joseph K. There are lots of things that those narratives kind of evoke, but but the reality I think is that for most folks, at least most Black folks, most Southern Black folks, right? I don't want to be essentializing or imply that we're a monolith or any of that, but that we are raised in the context of community, and we know that we and that again, I think when I think about, I mean, I think that, that idea is so central to a lot of the stuff that I do. So that's why I like the Black collegiate. There's so many other things. Are there about like community and like how does one become a fully functioning member of society? It is by going through certain rites and experiences and rituals and traditions by which you can learn that the sum is greater than the parts, right? So that the totality of the group, of the community, is sort of more important than individual identity. So that's that's my soapbox. It's something that I'm always like harping on. So yeah.
That was an awesome soapbox answer. I mean, like you kind of got to it just in that like last moment of like the ways that being a folklorist can attune you to the like micro interactions you have with people as part of creating that communal ethos, or that kind of like community that's built on generational knowledge and support over time is different than other models of apprenticeship. I feel like that was so cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I mean, it was it was rambling for a minute, and eventually it's like, come on, bring it on home, girl. It was so like towards the end.
No, I
much
love
like a dissertation.
Yeah, much like a dissertation, and much like
Much like
any paragraph I've ever written where I'm actually trying. The topic sentence is my last sentence.
Yeah. Listen, and to be clear, don't look that thing up because I wrote the done dissertation, not the good dissertation.
So felt me too, TBH.
Yeah. Hey, when you said, "Oh yeah," I felt strongly about that at some point. I was like, "Oh, that's what it feels like."
Yeah.
No, you know what? It's so funny too because I have recently returned back to some of that research. When you first get out of grad school, you're like, I don't want to see that thing ever again. But now I'm like, okay, I've had some space. Let me go back to that. Yeah.
Well, maybe potentially connected to the revisitation, we have a next question for you. So in our kind of like interview inquiry form that we ask our guests to fill out, you define folklore as the way that tradition informs our daily lives. How is this utilized in a literary genre of Afrofuturism?
Okay. All right. Yeah. You know what? Oh, let me tell you, these are not terrible trick questions. I was thinking like, what kind of research did they do? Are they going to ask about an X? Is this going to be
Oh my god, no! Oh my god, no!
We're not to make you look like a cool, smart scholar.
Yeah, we're trying to make you look cool and smart.
Yeah, what? Correct.
Yeah, it's like,
exactly.
What?
We're not Nardwar, okay?
Yeah. I'm sometimes Nardwar, but not like this.
We're not saying this here. All right. So thank goodness. Okay. So how does being a folklorist? Wait, say that.
Okay.
So
basically,
that informs our daily lives.
Tradition that informs our daily lives. Just thinking about that idea of folklore. How does that show up in Afrofuturist literature?
Gotcha. Yeah. To be fair, I for sure did not look up a definition of folklore.
No,
we liked what you gave us. Yeah,
and it had a connection to some of the stuff you studied in our minds. Yeah.
So yeah, so that was like a working definition that I could just kind of roll out my head. And
Yeah.
so I'm gonna do a little bit of a digression where it's like I answer the question, but I don't really answer the question. So,
Okay.
so
Great, love it.
one of the things that I'm trying to do in this current project, which is actually like a derivative of the dissertation, and so I'm talking about something I call a folktastic. So academics just like to make up words, and it's not really a new thing. But I'm thinking about the way that when fantasy, which often there's quite a bit of overlap between fantasy, sci-fi, all of this kind of subgenres that often are operating under a similar umbrella. So the project is about the Black folktastic. So when particularly when folklore, when fantasy is explicitly derived from folkloric themes. And so I was actually thinking like when I was playing the video game, I was having a secondhand experience where I was playing South of Midnight. But when you were playing the video game, I was like,
that's the show. That's the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like this would be great for the book if
yeah,
I were
totally
willing to add a chapter, but I'm totally not. But all that to say, I mean, we see there are some very specific folklore tropes that are often incorporated in genres that operate under the umbrella of Afrofuturism, horror noir / ethnogothic. Often draws on lots of things like the La Diables, Kushma, just lots of urban legends, of course, are rife, and there are some specific to Black folks. So that becomes kind of literally, one way that we see it manifest in some of the genres that are associated with Afrofuturism. But I think in terms of the more explicit question, like about tradition, right, and how, our daily lives. I mean, folklore is so much about living. Well, for many of us, right, we think about it's like living traditions. It's not always about like studying, these remote places. Like, what are we doing and thinking about in our daily lives? And I think Afrofuturism, at least initially, the way that Mark Derry, I think, conceptualized it is thinking about like this scientifically and technologically enhanced themes that are reflected in these Afrocentric texts. And so, if we had all night, we could talk about African futurism versus Afrofuturism.
Sure.
We don't have all night.
Yeah.
But, there's lots of nuance. But what I will say is that, I mean, I think in this moment that we find ourselves in, having a conversation via Twitch, right? That thinking about the way in which technology, and there's so many Afrofuturist texts that are specifically looking at the technological apparatus of the time, that I think we can kind of see the way in which people are using those to create new traditions, new experiences, new rituals, connected to. I think now it's about to be homecoming season. I'm thinking about like the obligatory homecoming text, like "What you doing?" or "Hey, big head," So like that, I might argue is like an Afrofuturist thing. Like I don't know if anybody would buy that argument, but I would absolutely try to make that an argument, and maybe somebody would be convinced. But yeah,
that's so cool. I mean, I like the way that you're kind of alluding to the play of temporality, just time in this. Like, if tradition is something that like people have an idea is of the past, but we really know that it's something that's living and it's very present. And then Afrofuturism, or thinking about like what the future could hold. I like the way, you're like drawing this through line between the stuff that kind of keeps these communities strong over time, but like imagining space for its future, but also being connected to stuff that we do right now. Like I'm thinking of homecoming. Like, what could the future of homecoming be? But we have homecoming right now. But like, how could it grow and evolve? How do we imagine like how to bring the folk life into the future? I don't know. I feel like you're touching on some important stuff there, I guess. So I'm trying to say that's awesome.
Yeah, no, you better listen. You're trying to listen. Let me tell you, there is a whole thing where we could do Afrofuturism versus Afro-pessimism, and this is a political orientation, and this is an aesthetic, or both of them, or whatever. But I was not even trying to have that heavy conversation. So you made what I said sound much more like academic. I was like,
Okay.
this is what I think. Yeah.
Well, I just graduated not that long ago, so I still might have a little bit of the like the academic trauma in
No,
the front of my mouth.
Leftover, yeah.
But
that's all good.
yeah, I don't. That's super cool. Yeah, I think I think what you're doing is like really epic.
No, but listen, but you just made it sound real impressive, though. I appreciate
That's because listen, all
It
I did was rearrange the words that you said, and I was like, okay, is this like right? Like you planted the idea there, okay? Like it's so cool.
it. You say so, but
Yeah. We have a final kind of like bigger, more like a question about your work and scholarship before we have a couple like faster, funsy questions. Are you ready for the last big one?
All right,
Okay.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
and
Wait,
this
wait,
is
let
a
me
more
crack my cup.
recent.
Hold up.
Yeah,
This is a
yeah.
more recent thing you've written or are writing. This is much more recent than the last couple we've asked you. But a question we have: how did No Limit Records sonically shape the space and place of the Dirty South?
Oh my gosh. Listen, that is really hey, the sleuths are on it now. I'm gonna tell you, I actually thought I thought the question was gonna be about the co-edited collection with my good friend, and I think Shelly was on maybe a while
Oh,
back.
we're getting to
Oh,
that.
don't
We're
worry.
getting to that.
Don't worry.
We're getting to that.
Don't worry. Don't get ahead of yourself. All right.
First,
So-
I might think the first question. We'll get to it, but that might be the first question. Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's so funny because I was literally just working on that thing like 2 days ago. And
Perfect.
I had gotten so swamped with some of the other things. I was like, I gotta get back to this because this project was important to me.
Amazing.
So so my first concert that I went to was the Hot Boys, and at the time
Aw.
Lil Wayne was
Aw.
probably like 4'7" or something. I was like 17.
Lil Wayne was actually
Yeah,
little.
it was actually
He
little.
was
Yeah.
little, yeah, exactly. And he was pre, all the thousands of drugs or whatever. So he
Yeah.
was just like oh, he's so But anyway, I was 17, and we would see. I think so Natchez, Mississippi, which is where I'm from, is about an hour north of Baton Rouge. So we would have that proximity to Louisiana. And also the Hot Boys being like my first concert is really like one of the reasons I talked about. There was an MLA paper, and I'm gonna blank on the first part of the name, but the last part was like reckless nostalgia, right, or something like that. 'Cause this idea that like I'm so in love with this musical tradition, but it's also color. A lot of times colorism, misogyny, like all of these problems that are just like rampant. But I love them nonetheless. And so when I think though about like No Limit Records and Masterpiece selling, like hip hop just turned 50 a couple years ago. There were all these awards. He's performing. They have on this camouflage, and I think about the military state. So I mean, so the question is about sonically, but if you just think about like the idea that these South Louisiana young men really don this accoutrement of this highly militarized little, like whatever you want to say about like the sort of armed forces, right? And that they took that as kind of their like their rallying cry, right? You don't want to go to war with a soldier, no limit, blah blah blah. I thought I told you. So it was just like the fact that it was just rampant everywhere. The fact that Master P as a rapper is like not very great, but that is right that he built this empire was sort of amazing. So there's like all of these levels, but even just like again, sonically, you just so much of what they did, and then by extension, Cash Money, and I probably even Manny Fresh more so than No Limit in terms of making beats and contributing, and then some of the collaborations that came out of that. Batiste collaborated with Trombone Story, Lil Wayne, all of those, like just on his Grammy Award winning album of the year a few years ago. So you just had such a like Louisiana already had Zydeco and so many other great musical traditions, but I feel like No Limit was like the icing on top. Is that the metaphor? Icing on top of the cake,
Yeah.
cereal, whatever, you know what I'm saying. But so that really just kind of solidified for a bit, like their firmly ensconced them as like the sound of the Gulf South. Like for a while, that was like pre-Meg, like it was very much No Limit, and then they passed the torch to Cash Money, and so like whatever you understand that sound to mean,
Yeah.
bounce music came out. Bounce is an outgrowth, I think, of that. We wouldn't have had it, I don't think. Baton Rouge's jig tradition. I think No Limit Records and their success, I think, allowed all of those things to flourish. I'm certainly willing to be very wrong about that. So someone who's an ethnomusicologist or a music scholar can feel free to like, what you talk about. That's fine too. Again, it's how this is very much sort of viscerally how I experienced the music growing up,
Yeah.
in such close proximity to South Louisiana. So
Or any
Epic.
ethnomusicologist or music scholar who thinks you're right can collaborate.
that too. Exactly.
Epic.
That was great. Believe we're getting into the funsy questions now, and Daisy had. Speaking of homecoming,
Yeah, speaking
Daisy
of
has-
homecoming, you queued yourself up
has
for this.
you queued yourself perfectly for this.
All right, Constance, if you had to pick one, Alcorn State's Sounds of Dynamite or Alcorn State's world-renowned Golden Girls?
So Alcorn states, and
excuse me,
anytime you
Alcorn.
meet anybody who went to Alcorn, they're gonna say,
They're gonna say
they're
Alcorn.
gonna correct
Okay,
you hardly. They're gonna be
okay.
like, it's Alcorn,
Okay.
Alcorn States. See, that's the wonderful thing about SOD, or Sounds of Dynamite. You don't have to choose, right? They were the first Black college band to have, like, the Golden Girls are like the oldest, majorette squad for at HBCU, and they perform with the Sounds of Dynamite. So you don't have to choose either.
Got you.
Or you can have both when you go to an Alcorn home game.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Amazing. All right, Dom has the next question.
Oh, okay. You said you're from Natchitoches, Mississippi, or Natchez, Mississippi, and
That was close. Yeah, there's a Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Natchez,
Natchez,
Louisiana,
okay.
Natchez, Mississippi,
Yes.
and don't even talk about what's going on in Texas with the whatever that one is. But but you are currently you lived around the South, but you're currently in Atlanta. And when the sleuths are looking at your profile on Facebook, we see like a pull quote in your bio that I think is a very important pull quote, especially to Atlanta, and it sounds like to your life. So can you break down a little bit this wonderful phrase? Spaceships don't come equipped with rear view mirrors. ...
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
as soon as they can. The atmosphere, yeah.
The atmosphere's now
listen,
ripped.
It's right. Hey, listen, that's. I tell you, that has probably been. I don't even remember the last time I edited that quote, and it's probably the only quote that has been in my bio.
That's right.
Yeah, you know what? That is a very forward and Afrofuturist quote. Although at the time I did not think of it like that. Of course, if you think about like Parliament and Bootsy Collins, spaceship iconography is very important for Afrofuturism. So in that way, it's kind of great. But I didn't think about it at the time. It was just like, this is my. I mean, in part, the song itself is about relationships, right?
Yeah.
And so
It's a wedding song.
Yeah,
exactly. And will be my wedding song should I ever meet my future ex-husband, right? So I've just embraced that whole song, really. But as not just like a relationship philosophy, like in terms of, don't dwell on the past or your mistakes, spaceships don't have rear mirrors, right? So, but just also like a career philosophy, like a parenting philosophy. I've embraced it in all aspects of my life. Sometimes my teenagers like, you're a horrible mom, and I'm like, okay. I never claimed to be anything beyond a mediocre mom. I'm doing the best that I can, as most parents are.
Yes.
Be thankful and get out of my face, kid.
Yep.
So I mean, I try to. I think it's just a very. I think people else should embrace Andre 3000's philosophy, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Be
totally.
forward looking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all. I didn't even make the connection to Afrofuturism, but of course, the spaceship. Yeah, let's talk about spaceships. Of course, that's so cool. Epic.
Oh, it is. Listen, I didn't think about any of that when I put that on
Right,
there
yeah.
like 10 years ago
Yeah.
or whatever. All right.
Hey, you should be a sleuth. You're finding connection.
Yeah, you got this. That's awesome. Our next question is, how long is your subtitle for In Search of Our Mother's Folklore, your forthcoming book?
Listen, that's a great question. It depends on what day you ask me, because today it's not that long, because like every time I'm asked, that subtitle changes.
That's awesome.
One day it's like one day, and I do need to actually finalize
Decide.
this book proposal.
No.
After this time,
No.
because the press sometimes will send a little gentle reminder. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. But let me see. In Search of My Mother's Folklore, wait, I'm trying to remember what I decided to go with. Black Feminisms and the Black Folktastic. Was that it? Let me see. Black Feminism and the Black Folktastic. Yeah, it's about 7 words. Yeah, it's about 6 or 7 words. So not terribly long.
No.
It probably was longer before, but I have changed it. So.
Do you have a favorite academic subtitle that you can think of off the top of your head, like by any author?
Oh gosh, that is. Wait,
that might be
something that I've gone on record as saying. Like, I don't.
No, that's just our follow up. We were curious if you had them because.
Okay, all right.
Because there was you were sort of implication of like the ever necessary academic subtitle to something,
Oh yeah,
Curious,
yeah.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I don't. But the best ones are really on. Well, I don't do Twitter anymore. So I don't know if Blue Sky has that, but somebody has the old screenshots. But it's where those posts. I think probably they were really, really. Oh my gosh, they were ubiquitous on Black Twitter like 2 or 3 years ago, where it was like, where you at, and then semicolon, a temporal study of, it was like, who all gonna be over there?
Yeah.
Colon, a qualitative study of, blah, blah, blah. And so,
that's so funny.
Like, those really are the best ones, because
true.
Because that's the kind of energy I take into like, my essays and for like paper talks. And sometimes I give the most boring talks, but the titles are always like provocative, and subtitles are good.
That's how you hook people. That's how you get people to listen. Like, gotta have the longest.
Yeah, no, I had a communications conference, and there was a paper called "Fuck Them Kids," but I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And then the subtitle was something like virality and incongruity or something like that. But it was,
Epic.
like it had a good I'm not sure the paper was great, but the title was great.
That's awesome. So I'm gonna queue up an image for you to view in a moment.
Yeah.
And maybe, Dom, would you read, maybe you should read this intro while I queue up I queue this up for you.
Okay, as you guessed earlier, Constance, we had, when was that? Last year?
It's about
something
like that, yeah.
Yeah, 2024 we had your friend and colleague, Shelley Ingram, on the program. And the two of you are working on this book about gas station food in the South, correct? Or is done? Yes. We would. Okay, so we would love for you to take a look at this. So we have, at the end of the episode, we had Shelley rank the best gas station food in Louisiana. And she had a bit of a controversial list where
it's a little controversial.
A little controversial. It was very consistent in that it was like beef and pork up top, chicken in the middle, carbs, and then dairy at the bottom. But since you've worked on this with her, we want to know one. I will go over this with how she ranked the Louisiana gas station food. And you tell us if you agree, if it's too high, if it's too low, and then we can talk a little bit about what Mississippi's would look like. But let's get into this. So I think, as you can see, as chat can see, or I'll break it down. Number one, she had the Natchitoches meat pie as the star of Louisiana gas station food. Followed behind, up in the top tier, followed behind boudin balls and andouille. So we had a whole like very hyper regional, hyper seasoned meats.
Yes.
Okay. That next row, that A tier, was egg rolls, pronto pups, and catfish. Okay, all very meat, all very breaded. Then the B tier in the middle was fried shish kebabs, chicken strips, and crispitos. Then it was potato logs, and it was the immediate hatred on the for real machine, like the beloved dairy ice cream dispensing contraption. Was she could not talk more about how that shouldn't have made it on the list. But
Yeah.
so she had, so first question, how do you rank your friend's opinion on Louisiana food?
I mean, I give that ranking a pretty solid, like a B plus, A minus.
Okay.
I
Okay.
probably would have put boudin balls before seasoned meat pies, maybe. But
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, but I think potato wedges down at the bottom.
Okay.
Ice cream down at the bottom.
Yeah, probably, yeah. Because, but here's why. I think just because, unless it's something about the vending the dispenser of the, like, because I can get ice cream okay.
But this is like, yeah, it was. But she was saying not even the cool kitschy dispenser can save like the weak milkshakes. Yeah, chat's hating on them too.
I think I'm gonna probably keep that at the bottom.
Cool. What would you add for Mississippi?
Yeah, what's the Mississippi version of this look like?
Yeah.
What's at the top? What's at the bottom, etc.
See, I feel that here's the problem with this, and the problem is that Shelley has lived. Now I'm still in the South, of course,
Sure.
but not quite as deep, and so I've been out of the deep. I've been out of Mississippi, Louisiana, longer than Shelley's still in Mississippi, Louisiana. So I feel like, so probably what I'm gonna say. So there was a Kiese Laymon talks about this in one of his essays for like the Bitter Southerner about the Junior Food Mart, or the JR as we used to call it.
Okay.
But they had so there were so I would probably add fried corn nuggets because they had really I'm thinking, and I don't even remember if it was them, but one of my favorite gas stations had some. I think it was them though, but. So yeah, fried corn nuggets. I shouldn't even have to add the fried. If it's in the South, like corn nuggets, and then and then basically like not chicken tenders, but wings, like hot wings or whatever. So like people who are like Mississippi Gulf Coast and Louisiana too, South Louisiana too, will be familiar with like the it's not Casey's. What's the name of the gas station that I always go to? Because they have these other fried strawberry pies that are delicious too. What is the name of the
strawberry pie?
Not Casey's.
Oh, Dodge's. That's what it is.
Dodge's.
Yeah. So like the hot wings, and their fried strawberry pie thingies. Those things are. So I'm gonna add corn nuggets as up in my top tier, gas station food. And I feel like I get more in Mississippi than South Louisiana. I could be making that up. And then like those hot wings that Junior Food Mart and Dodge's and other places have. So bone in, basically. That's the distinction.
Yeah.
Because I heard contenders on her list, but I didn't hear like the bone in hot wing. And that's
You're right. You're
must
right.
have. Yeah.
Epic.
What's
I
your
guess.
what is there any like gas station staple that you does not deserve its status?
No, I don't. I think like
Okay.
all gas station fare dessert. But what I will say though, I do think that, and again, if memory serves me correctly, I'm willing to be wrong. I do feel like there are much more vegetables, and I use that because they are you're gonna have some salt meat,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
probably
Right.
gonna have quite a portion of the ratio to grease and veggies might be similar. But I do feel like I got some pretty good green beans at Mississippi gas stations. I've got some
Mm.
other a couple other like there's fried. I'm not a fried okra fan, but fried okra for sure for some people is big
Hmm.
up
Oh
there.
yeah, I
So I
am.
feel like maybe you get more vegetables than a Mississippi gas station.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, that concludes our like formal questions for you, our big questions and our funsy questions. But we have one final thing to do, and that is to play a game that maybe you're getting a sense we might play, but
We're queuing you up
I'm
for
queuing
this.
you up for this. Dom,
Ready. Ready.
Constance, have you ever made a tier list before? Like the one that Shelly has
Probably.
ranked. Not specifically gas station food, but have you ever ranked food, or ranked anything on a sort of tiered list from S to D? Anything like that before?
I'm sure I have, but it escapes me. But I'm absolutely sure that is a thing
Sure.
I
Okay.
would do.
Dom, why don't you explain a tier list while I queue up
Yeah.
this moment?
For those who might be watching this who don't know, and Constance's, I'm sure I have, is pretty accurate because if you're a denizen of the internet, you may have a scale from S to D. S being a grade above 100, 101 and up, and D being barely passing. This comes from fighting games, like fighting video games mostly, as a way to rank character choice. But on the internet, people like to rank this with like everyday objects. And folklorists, we love everyday life. So we have, and Shelly couldn't come on the show without ranking gas station food. We've got a great one for you this week. And a lot, two questions already have broached this topic. And Daisy, why don't we get into
Yes.
Constance's tier list?
Yeah, Constance, if you haven't on Discord clicked watch stream, or if you're still watching stream or whatever, click that and you will see a tier list before you of Afrofuturist / Black speculative fiction authors. And we would love for you to rank authors. Just think of this as their like entire collected works that you maybe have read. If you haven't read them, you can leave them off. We rank on a scale from S to D. S is like superior, super number one. D is like don't read, like do not like. Although I have a feeling you'll probably rank all these fairly highly. We'll see. And they also go vertical and horizontal. So everything like to
upper
the
left-hand corner, number one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And you can rearrange them at any point, and it's to whatever metric criteria of evaluation you get to decide. So you can just be, these are the ones I like the most, or you could just, you rank them however you want. Totally personal list.
All right.
So
Daisy will walk you through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The pictures are a little. Daisy will walk.
They're really small. Yeah, I'll tell you.
Audio.
So the first author we have represented is Afia Atakora. Do you know Afia Atakora?
The name sounds vaguely familiar.
She's wrote
Conjure Women,
Conjure Women. Excuse me.
Okay. I don't really. I haven't read it. Let me say that.
Okay.
Absolutely, the title is familiar. So I might just divert you. Wait, are we getting all the titles first, or do we start the ranking when we get
rank?
How do we do it?
We've been kind of ranking when you get the title. But if you want to leave her off for now because you haven't read her, that's fine too. You don't have to put them all.
Okay.
Unless you have an idea.
Okay. All right. No, well, I was going to say just because I hadn't read it, I would. probably put it lower, but yeah, we can come back to it. We'll see.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can circle back. Up next is the heavy hitter, Octavia Butler. These might be in alphabetical order.
Wait, yeah, well, okay. Which Butler?
Octavia Butler.
No. I'm saying
wait,
which
which?
book? Because
Oh.
we just doing the authors.
Just doing the
One of
author.
others, yeah, Daisy
Yeah.
just has a
Gotcha,
famous
gotcha.
book in order
I
to be like a
just-
visual aid. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt
Okay,
like
gotcha.
putting like
Oh,
a
no, I got
yeah.
you.
So
No,
this
I
is
got
just
you.
it's just a representation
kinda-
of the author by way of like a famous
Okay,
book.
Okay. Okay. So let's put her up there with S. Let's just
Yes.
throw her on there.
It's
We'll see if
amazing.
anybody usurps her.
yeah, amazing, iconic. It would
The heavy hitter, like you
the
said.
heavy hitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Up next, we have what do we have here? Coulson Whitehead.
Ooh, okay. Colson Whitehead. Oh gosh. Okay. We got the Nickel Boys. We got some satirical stuff. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, okay. That's gonna be hard. So let's go. We'll put Colson. Let's put a mid tier. Let's do B. Just
Okay.
because- Wait, because this is a hierarchical rank. Yeah. So let's
Yeah.
do. We'll say B just in case somebody else. Okay.
And they can shuffle too. Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
can
exactly.
Shuffle
They can
around.
move.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
Up next is Helen Oyeyemi.
Oh, Helen Oyeyemi. Okay. And can they be like? Can she be along the same?
Yep.
Okay. Let's put her on the mid thing too, on the B line, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Is she the top of B? Is she the leader of B right now? You know what I mean?
Is she
Uh,
above Coulson or Whitehead or below?
Yeah. Oh. She's more speculative. But then I don't know because there's the zombie book. I don't know. Let's leave them both there for now. I gotta
Cool,
decide. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Up next, this one's written the smallest. I'm trying to remember. This isn't. Hold on, I put them in order.
This is Karen Strong.
Karen Strong. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. Thank you. Karen Strong.
Karen Strong. You might be introducing me to some new I do not know Karen Strong.
Oh, okay. This was she is appears to be more of a YA author, so that could be why.
Yeah, she's YA.
Yeah, she's more YA, speculative.
Yeah.
fiction.
And some Star Wars.
Yeah, I do a little bit of YA, so I just hadn't gotten around to her. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Should I leave her off then? Just like
But
Adakora?
we'll leave her off for now. But,
Okay.
but I gotta come back to him. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Up next is Marlon James.
I could see the little image, and I was so conflicted. I
Mhm.
love the world building in this most recent series. Oh my. It's real. Oh gosh. Okay, that's hard. Let's put Marlon James right now at the A tier, like in between.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's put him there. I
Okay.
feel good with that for now. Yeah.
Nice. Up next, I believe I got this correct, is Mateo Asakripor. I think that's how you say it.
What's the book?
The book is Black Buck,
A novel.
a novel.
Oh yeah. I know of this book, but I still have yet to read it.
There
Man, I'm so behind. I'm excited about the new books that I can read now. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like,
Have you read anything by this author? It doesn't have to just be this book.
yeah, I don't think I have though.
Okay.
Now I'm torn. We gotta leave it off for now too.
Sure.
Just for now. I come back.
Okay. Up next is N.K. Jemisin.
Oh man, well okay. Well, she's got to go up there on the S line. Yeah, she's got to go on the S line. But I think we still got to, just as the grand matriarch, we got to leave Butler just a little bit ahead, but not
Okay.
super higher. But
Yeah.
yeah, she's definitely got to go like up there.
Gotcha. Okay. Amazing.
Fifth season's such a good book. That's the one you chose for that. But
Yeah.
oh my god, I love that book.
Yeah.
That whole series, I tell people, like world building in that series is like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Okay, and then up next, I'm also like, I realized I didn't put their names next to the image I chose, although, wait, hold on.
Actually, no, I think it's like the Gilded Ones, because
Yeah.
I think I have that book.
There's the Gilded
Okay, yeah,
Ones,
it's the Gilded Ones, and I'm just trying to remember here. I'm like, who, hold on.
Yeah.
No, that's
Let me look
Forno,
really
right?
quick. That's Forno, right? Okay, that's what I was,
Yeah,
that's what I was
Forno.
checking.
And that one, it's good. I don't remember it
Yeah.
super well, and no, I didn't feel like, oh my gosh, like this is N.K. Jemisin-esque, but it was good.
Yeah.
So maybe B, but lower than my other two on the B line. Like it was good. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if it was great, but
Sure.
I enjoyed it.
All right, Namina Forno, bottom of B.
Yeah.
Three more.
Yeah.
Nnedi Okorafor is
Yeah.
gonna go up there on the. She's gonna be on the A line, but higher than Marlon James.
Perfect.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
Great.
I was like, this book sounded so interesting. I like kind of really want to read it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very good.
Awesome. And then we have Patrice Caldwell.
Oh wait, what is Patrice Caldwell? Why am I blanking on her? What is one of the books? Because I absolutely know her stuff.
Yeah.
Where Shadows Meet.
Yeah.
Oh, Where Shadows Meet.
Yeah, that's the Eternally Yours. It's another 2022 book. Where Shadows Meet is 2025. It looks like, so that could, maybe this is a little.
Okay. I'm
That's like Where Shadows Meets Vampires, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it. Yeah. I'm gonna put her on the B line just because I'm not super familiar. Well, you know what? I was gonna say I could put it a little bit lower, but that wouldn't be fair because I don't remember. I don't think I read Eternally Yours, and so I'm not sure if I've read anything in its entirety. So I do want to say I remember it being good.
But it is telling that.
So
it's telling that if you read it and you were like, it's good, but it's not like it didn't like stick with you, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
that's like kind of telling.
It's not even, yeah. Well, sometimes though, because if you're either passively reading or if you're audio booking and reading, like sometimes I lose stuff, that way. But I will say the B line, but maybe a little bit below, a little bit below like Whitehead and who else is on the B line? Marlon James. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel good about that.
At the end there.
Is that time? Yeah, is that Ta-Nehisi Coates?
Yeah, Ta-Nehisi. Yeah, Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Daisy, you're killing me that you did not pick the cover of his run on Black Panther, like the
that's true. I could have done that. That's true.
Yeah,
I could have done that. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to do. Yeah, I just. Yeah.
Or underrated. Sorry, I'm getting all Marvel comics on you right now. Underrated. Run on Captain America, I thought was.
You thought was really. You cut out for a second.
Yeah. Oh, I thought his run on Captain America is people like regard it under his run on Black Panther, which like maybe objectively it is, but I love his run on when he wrote Captain America and when he like how he pictured Hydra as as enemies, but also he brought back Selene, my favorite. He repopularized Selene, my favorite like 80s X-Men villain, the dark vampire huntress to Gen Z, which I will always thank him for that.
Yeah.
That's fair, yeah.
Hey, very good.
He kind of made her the incompetent but magnanimous vampire huntress.
Awesome. I'm gonna say Coates will go on my B line or A line, my A line.
Yeah.
A line.
Yeah. I enjoyed the message also, but the water dancer actually references Mathis a couple of times.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
That is, and that's I think is that his only. But,
is that what?
That was I was trying to figure out if The Water Dancer was his only fictional text, because Between the World and You and The Message are both.
Outside of his comic books.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, outside of the comic books, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, because of the war. Yeah. So I'll say, I do want to say, like, Tanana Reeve Dew is not here, but she is one of my
Next question.
That was
our next question.
Our next question is who's not here? Yeah. Say that.
More recent.
Say her name
more
again.
About, like nominations. Yeah.
Say her name again.
Tanana Reeve Dew. She won the World Fantasy Award in, I think it was last year. Earlier, whenever they make the award earlier, but for the Reformer. So her Reformatory is like similar to the Nickel Boys, but with Hanks. So
cool. Cool.
It's also based on the story of her uncle, because there's a great picture, well, it's a sad picture of her and her dad going to the grave site to identify his bones. You remember a few years ago when they discovered all of those that in Florida, where they unearthed all the remains of those young men who died. Her uncle was one of the people, and so she wrote the book to give him a happy ending. So like there are Hanks, and it's sad, but there's this great happy ending, and so she's one of my favorite writers, and I teach her stuff all the time.
And would she be in your S tier?
She would probably be in my S tier. Yep.
You can't see this on your end, but I'm adding the names of the authors you're mentioning for the people on who are watching from home.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Oh, she's from Tallahassee. Hell yeah.
From Tallahassee, yes. Yeah. I was gonna say, represent. Yeah. And matter of fact, she did. What's the? Oh gosh, it only had one season. HBO
Lovecraft Country.
Yes, she did a great. I don't know if she was co-writing, but I know that the companion podcast, there's a great episode that she's talking about horror noir and the traditions in that episode. So it's really super great.
That's awesome.
I love her stuff, so she's great.
Epic.
Yeah, who else? I mean, obviously, Kiese's first novel is kind of speculative too.
Of course. Okay. Yeah. Of course.
So,
put him on there.
Yeah, I'm putting him on there.
Yeah, put him on there. Put him up there. I don't know. That's probably. I'm sure there are more than that I can't think of.
I mean, we can go on and on with them too. But if they're important to you, I want to get them on here so that way we can have the official tier list of Constance Bailey, Afrofuturist Black speculative fiction authors.
Oh, sure. Oh, let's see. Who else we got? We got Victor. Let me see. Victor Laval. I bet this is more horror, but Tanana Reeve Dew is also more horror.
Victor Laval did I'm too comic book code. I was going to say Victor Laval completely reinvented Sabretooth. Made him not a sympathetic figure, but you sat there like, okay, maybe he has a point in his own mind.
Yeah.
No,
I guess I don't read actual books that aren't floppy with illustrations.
Yeah.
Hey, that's okay. Yeah, I've taught his Destroyer comic book in class, and I hadn't taught it recently, but that was really great. Oh my gosh, I can't believe. Hold on, I'm almost forgetting. Like almost my goat, Nalo Hopkinson. She would be in my S tier also. Nalo Hopkinson. I'm saying Nalo Hopkinson.
Heck yeah. Is there a specific book that you would recommend by her?
The one that I always just kind of start with, or that I often teach, is Brown Girl in the Ring, just because it has some of those coming of age things, and it also has this great kind of it's Sukoyant. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Folks from the Caribbean, don't kill me, but it has a duppy bowl, and there's like it's just like intergenerational, there is just a lot. It's great though. There's
cool.
Orisha. There's so many wonderful, just awesome things. So yeah. And I think her short story collection, is it Skin Folk? It has some of the stories that I'm like. I think Greedy Choke Puppy is in Skin Folk. There's a lot of great stories.
Yep.
I think. Yeah.
This is getting.
It's getting a little silly over here.
Footnotes.
No,
Footnotes are getting a little crazy, Daisy.
I'm stopping now. I'm not gonna say anymore. I'm
We have to put Victor LaVale.
Not you. It's
It's
Daisy
me.
is annotating your list live on stream, and it's the footnotes are taking up the whole page. Let's say
It's Victor LaVale now. Wait, I have to add another one. Hold on. This is very good. I love this.
what's his Ballad of Black Tom?
Oh yeah, the Valid Black.
Yeah, as someone who's read too much Lovecraft. I thought that book was
Lovecraft,
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
The story collection was really amazing too. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that we got all the recommendations from the source, from a person who studies this professionally. Oh yeah.
Hold on. I gotta do what? Sorry, it's not. Oh wait. No, this is the Afrofuturist one. That's okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, Afrofuturist
I'll
and
do
Black
it for another
speculative
list.
fiction.
Nope.
Okay, a different list.
All right, no worries.
Okay,
Good list, next time.
awesome. Well, Constance, thank you for being on Folkwise. This is sort of the end of the interview formally, I guess, on a scale of Nalo Hopkinson, officially, to, what is it? To Patrice Caldwell. How much, I don't know, Afrofuturism has impacted you specifically? Like, what level of text has impacted your life specifically? Maybe that's our ranking
This is a
system
hard one
here.
to summarize.
It's hard one to summarize.
This one was very free-flowing, Dave.
Yes, it really was. It was very good. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over and make your face large on screen again, just to say thank you for spending like a couple hours with us and like talking to us about this
seeing some of the
epic.
more difficult parts of South of Midnight as well.
Yeah. And just you go ahead.
I think I'm gonna have secondhand anxiety from the.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's definitely intense.
From just falling down the clock tower.
Yeah, that was scary. It was like an extra long fall. So
when is the Kushma battle gonna continue? Because are you gonna attempt it again tonight, or is it like a sign?
Well, I think we need to decide that if we're gonna continue tonight, or like pick it up put the bow on it next week. I think that's ultimately your call, Days.
I'm kind of feeling like we should put the bow on it next week.
I think that would be good.
I think because then I feel a little like if I did it now, I'm gonna be underperforming at the final battle. You're like,
yeah, you're gonna be so nervous about can I wrap it up in one go? I know what you mean.
Yeah, so I think next week we will be doing that, and you're obviously welcome to watch and if you want to hear the results of the battle or whatever.
Hop in, yeah.
Yeah, it'll probably be next week.
Yes, I got to. Yeah, I need to put it on my calendar. I actually just kind of log into my Twitch to make sure that the account doesn't like dry
disappear or something.
Yeah, you're not hacked or anything. Yeah.
Well, that would be awesome.
I want to catch the end of this epic battle. I gotta see it. So
I think the storytelling at the end, the sort of like, final cinematic moments, like, we have the moments of the gameplay and then there's the moments where there's like a story unfolding. I think those are going to be pretty beautiful and hopefully, I don't know. I haven't looked at the end at all, so I'm hoping for an awesome end and very curious.
Of all of the loose threads, we still have to wrap up what's going on with Bunny, who is her like.
Yes. I
don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? Evil / estranged. Paternal grandmother who is also magical and is white. Yeah.
So we're like, there's some complicated dynamics going, and Hazel's father is
magic users and they don't like each other.
Yeah, and
her dad's dead.
Her dad is. Well, is he? Now I'm like, is he?
Are we about to see him? Are we about to see him? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some things. There's some pieces of her story that have not been fully revealed to her, and therefore
her backstory.
So I really want to know
the generational. The generational pieces of her story haven't fit into the magical world.
Yeah.
That's the big reveal I'm waiting for.
Yeah. So it'll probably be the best part to watch.
They've
honestly,
got some great storytelling. It probably will. I mean, they got dance sequences and all that
Yes.
overlaid.
The puppets,
awesome.
yeah. You should see. Usually, Kushma might be different, but usually when you beat a boss, you have to like. If you notice, her arms have the kind of like pigmentation thing going on.
Yeah.
Every time she like frees a creature, it like appears. It appears in her. So like there's like a kid who was left in a tree hollow to die, and then he became the tree, and then she now has like a tree on her arm, you know. Or
we freed an alligator.
Yeah, the preacher's daughter who wanted to be a country star, so she fed her dad to a gator, but then the gator never stopped growing and became like a kaiju.
Yeah.
Oh man, so
pretty
listen,
epic.
so it's like so they mentioned in South of Midnight the glass bottle tree. Nalo Hopkinson has a story called Glass Bottle Tree. That's
oh my
an
gosh.
story. With thinking it like about the Gullah and trees and capturing spirits. And then Tanana Review has a great story called Free Jim's Mine, where like somebody wants this thing and it's like a Faustian, but there's like a monster that might be maybe an alligator, some kind of. It's really cool too.
That's so cool.
And
there were some. We should. I want to talk to you about the rest of the monsters too that are in this, because they're very complex and cool and are like directly tied into Southern folk life, and specifically in some cases specifically like Black Southern folk life, which is really cool. It's awesome.
The glass bottle tree in this game is also like there's a constant repeating image often at the end of like a if you can picture like in Lord of the Rings, like Valinor being like the light of the heavens, like the glass bottle tree catching the light and being like this heavenly light that you are that is at the end of the tunnel.
And are the bottles blue? Are they
they're all blue. They're all blue. Because she also if you may have maybe caught that on her back, she also has a blue cobalt bottle to catch the hints, because when she like I guess when she unravels it, my big attack is to like collect them in the bottle, basically.
Oh, awesome!
Open the bottle and they all like
it's
awesome. We're just talking about how much we like this game.
I want to encourage my procrastination anymore, but I have to play this game, you all, because it's research for the book project. Neo-African religious traditions, and I can see my publisher saying, "What?"
No, well, you say what, and then say you should play it too, and you'll understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you played it, you would know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Well, I just thank you again for spending all this time with us. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you have this like special spot of bridging folklore into fiction that seems like it's talked about a lot, but I don't know. I feel like you're doing it in this way that isn't just about like seeing fiction in the text as folkloric, but like seeing how all of that pulls into the communities that you're part of, and the communities of the readers of the text, and the writers are also part of too, listeners. And the listeners. Like it's not just like what.
Great way to sum that up, Daisy. Dang.
Constance, you do cool stuff. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Listen, I try.
It's awesome. I'm glad that we got to spend some time.
Thank you for having me on. I hope please like tag me as in join in next week or whenever the culmination of Hazel's battle is.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, Hazel Flood, total legendary track star, weaver of many worlds, healer of generational trauma. We love to see it.
The more I talk about it, and the more like the current project is really about like Black women's expressive culture and speculative text. And the more I feel like Hazel Flood might need to be like maybe Tapestry, maybe
Maybe, yeah,
Quilting
maybe
has to be
something
a trap.
there.
Like, yeah,
I mean, I was the
yeah.
first thing I thought of. I mean, this is so like my folklore brain, but like the first thing I thought when I saw that Hazel had a hand stitched doll was Diane and Dye's work on quilting, and but I was like,
Yeah,
and her doll collection is just like amazing. So I don't know, there's something there. There's something.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
absolutely Alabama quilting thing that like the G's been quilters like that. There's definitely
Something
something
going on. Anyway.
like, going on.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
so well, I
yeah.
so sad. If I didn't get up in the morning, I would be like, let's play. But
Oh, before you
Yeah,
go,
no,
before
it's
you go,
time.
chat.
Yeah.
Ladders in chat for Constance.
Yeah, ladders in
Constance, this is
chat.
how the chat can applaud from afar. But ladders in chat, please drop those. If you want to drop ladders and you don't have them, you can subscribe for $5.99 a month. But
GG's.
or a hearty GG.
Which is just good game. Good game in gamer speak. Anyway, good night, Constance.
Gamers. All right. Good night, y'all, and I hope to see y'all soon. At
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
we'll
see
see
you
you
in
at
AFS.
AFS.
See you in
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Have a special quilts have meaning on many levels. Making quilts helped me to get a sense of my own space, sense of finding my way, sense of really working